crypto investors are calling this the next Solana. So in today's show, we're going to assess whether that is fact or fiction. We're also going to be identifying a new narrative which is coming up, and some of these coins are absolutely flying. So without further ado, before we get into the show, make sure you smash the like button, hit the bell notification, and subscribe to the channel. And let's get straight into the show. I want to start off over here with this tweet from Root. So the Root National, and he says over here, the S&P 500 is back to positive correlation with Bitcoin. You can see it over here. It's completely, let's quickly highlight that. You can see come back into correlation. And what does that mean? Well, that means the S&P 500 is shooting up towards all-time highs. It's already, I think, less than 4 or 5% away from making a new all-time high. Let's quickly grab that. If you look over here, that is 4.9% away. So what does that mean for Bitcoin? Could Bitcoin recorrelate and catch up as well towards its all-time highs? Because it's still lagging very, very far behind in terms of reaching its all-time highs. And if you look over here, potential catalyst could be the BTC US dollar correlation. And this is written by Crypto Banter. He says, by now, we all know about the inverse correlation of the DXY and Bitcoin. But what if I told you that the signal that called for every bull market parabola without fail has just flashed once again? Well, it did. This is the correlation coefficient of the DXY and Bitcoin on the weekly time frame. And he says, number one, the thing you need to look at is the first low correlation move is an early bear market end signal in purple over here. So there you have it. Bear market end signal, which is in purple. And then he says, number two, the second is the bear market bottom, which is going to be in the red over there. So that's the red. That's the red. You have the little legend over there. And the next move into the low correlation starts a parabola, which is going to be your green. And that has just started to flash over here for the first time in ages. And he says that there's no point in worrying about this over the short term with this signal looming. It does take time to play out. So something definitely worth looking at, something of interest. And one thing that could be a narrative which will drive that entire catalyst is, of course, the SEC approval. It's either going to result in prices absolutely soaring, or it's going to be a sell the news event. And that is, according to Blockworks, the SEC must approve, deny, or delay a decision for one spot Bitcoin ETF by August the 13th. That is the soonest date that we should get either an approval, a denial, or a delay in that ETF. So Bitcoin still going strong in different currencies. If you look over here from Michael Saylor, the Turkish lira weakens to fresh record lows. And against Bitcoin, obviously Bitcoin just continues to go up against those currencies, already making all-time highs. So getting into the crux of the show over here, what could it be? What could the token be? Is it BNB? Is it Cardano? Is it Polkadot Avalanche? Is it Cosmos, Hedera, Chronos, Near, Algorand, Tezos, Phantom, Casper, Injective? Could it be Injective? Could it be Chiliz? Could it be Sui? Well, let's get into the show and we will assess that. First, I want to bring up DeFi Llama over here. If you compare all of those together, then it's been quite tough to outperform Solana. Only ones that have done so far across the board, if you measure all the metrics, TVL, fees, revenue, active users, transactions, you have BSC still sitting at the very, very top of the food chain, followed by Avalanche, followed by Phantom, and then followed by Solana. But there is a new kid on the block which has got a lot of hype, and it is Sui. But is this fact or fiction? Well, that's what we have to look at over here. And it was the tweet that's been doing the round. Sui's daily transactions have surpassed Solana's over the past few weeks. Over the past 7 days, Sui's reached 18.15 million daily transactions per day, while Solana has averaged 16.99 million. Both Sui and Solana have much higher transactions per day compared to Aptos and Near, who combined averages 726.6 thousand transactions per day. Now, we'll assess whether this is fact or fiction. By the way, stay tuned because I do have a trade set up for Sui. I was meant to show it to you yesterday, but I see that I missed that one in amongst the rest of the other 7 trades that we've given you. That was meant to be the 8th trade. I will give that to you straight after we analyze the data and see whether this is true. Make sure you smash the like button. It does help to get the show content out there. And then let's continue on over here. So if you look at Paddy the Pirate, he's one of our in-house experts. Make sure you do give him a follow. Great guy. And I asked him to write this for me actually because he is the expert that analyzes this type of data. He says the Sui network's transaction spike has piqued a lot of interest as of late. Headlines about 𝗬𝗍 overtaking Solana in daily transactions then followed. And he says, impressive throughput, no doubt. But how does 𝗬𝗍 actually stack up against Solana across the most pertinent KPIs? So looking at the key performance indicators, he says the TLDR is that it's not much of a competition. And here, this is the important part, right? Any of you can do this, by the way. You can go use Nansen, or you can go and use 𝗕𝗏 to pull these statistics and compare, which is the one that he used. Let me just look on the bottom. Artemis over here on the bottom, that's where he got most of this data. So those platforms are free up to a certain amount of metrics. You can use a certain amount of comparisons for free. So what did he compare? He compared the daily active addresses, daily transactions, the total value locked, and then the DEX volumes across the board. What does the multiple refer to? The multiple refers to how much better was Solana than 𝗬𝗍 in those metrics over the course of May, June, and July. And the answer over here is for daily active addresses. It was 9 times better, June 9 times better, and July 9 times better. So completely outperforming 𝗬𝗍, therefore demystifying that false statement over there. It's definitely a fictional analysis for the time being. Solana is still looking much stronger. Daily transactions, 86, 105, and then 2. This is the big spike that caught everyone's attention. Solana only twice as good for the month of July. Total value locked was 10 times better, 18 times better, and then 22 times better on Solana over those months. And then the DEX volumes, 7, 10, and 39. So across the board, the main metrics that matter suggest that Solana is still massively undervalued compared to something like 𝗬𝗍, which is actually overvalued when you consider the fully diluted valuation is very, very high on 𝗬𝗍. Now, what caused this? Well, he also shows over here, just learned that the significant increase in 𝗬𝗍's transactions is due to a game called 8192, which was built by Ethos Wallet XYZ. Looks to be part of an incentive campaign. So obviously gamification, which created the massive increase in those transactions. And that's why you got to be careful, right? You got to be careful when you see these tweets. You don't want to ape into something without first proofing or verifying it. So if you don't know how to do that, just watch the shows. That's what we're here for. We do the analysis for you, and we also look at the charts for you. And what did the charts say? Well, this was the trade setup. I do apologize because now you can see I'm giving it to you late. It's already started to move. I was meant to give this to you yesterday. I think I missed it, but I may have given it the day before that. Ultimately, what you wanted to do is place your stop loss below Monday's low, which is this candle over here. Monday's low is coming in at 66.5 cents of this, so 0.665. That is where your stop loss would be if price comes back below there. Invalidate, and then you can start to look for a new entry into the trade. Someone says TLDR meaning, so it's the too long did not read. That is essentially what TLDR means. That's for Sniper Chris over there. I don't know what that meant either. There's many of these new lingo terms that I had to look up in my dictionary back at home. Okay, looking at 𝗬𝗍 though on a serious note, broken the downsloping trend line over here. It's moving through that sideways slowdown phase. You know, when these tweets start to go viral and it garners a little bit of traction and gets a little bit of hype, then you never know. 𝗬𝗍 could potentially get a run. If it does, you're looking at a push towards the mid-range, which is going to be that $1 level. And then after that, it's going to be at about $1.40. So that's for 𝗬𝗍. I do want to also quickly cover some of the other trades that we had given yesterday. Obviously, price moved quite a lot. So let's quickly have a look and just reestablish these. We'll revisit them every couple of days. That's the BNB short that we're in. So that's in the money. Curve short in the money, but only marginally. Render, what's happening with Render? So almost took out the stop loss over here. Perfect if you do stop out at this level, because then it means you're deviating back into the range. You're breaking the downsloping trend line. It's really make or break for something like Render right now. Needs to get back above that trend line. Otherwise, this would actually be a better short opportunity once it stops out. If it bounces back into this $2 zone and failure to get back above, lower high, lower high, lower high, I would start to look to potentially make a short trade over there. If you look at Stacks is holding up pretty well. That was the long trade. Same thing. Stop is coming down at 60 cents over there and still holding up. It's in the profit, but only marginally. Uniswap, we had majorly into the profit. We look to compound that trade and re-enter. You can see you can enter at a better price if you do decide that you want to compound all the way to the 200-day moving average. So I would continue to hold that. Perpetual. Perpetual is right at the entry price over there right now. Your stop again below Monday low, which means that it's going to be coming in at 47 cents, and you're looking for a deviation and break back into the range. A little bit of profit will be taken at 65 cents, which is your 200-day moving average. If it can get above that, then we continue to hold the rest for the full move potentially to the top side of the range. The other one that we gave was Ocean. Here's Ocean Protocol. Also, same thing. Pretty much exactly at your entry price, hardly moved, but defending this level, which is a good thing. You don't want to see it come below the lows, which were made around the 13th of July. So continuing to hold that level. If you are looking to trade any of these coins, do check out the exchange sponsors below. My most recommended, I use BitGet and Bybit. Those are the two main exchanges that I trade on. And you do have all these pairs there. It's in the link in the description below. You get a sign-up bonus of up to $8,000 on BitGet and up to $30,000 on Bybit. Those are the most comprehensive, best sign-up bonuses that you can get in the market. So do check that out if you don't have a link. So I just wanted to quickly cover something which really resonated with me, just chatting to you guys out there as friends and family. Ansem says over here, being good at content versus being a good analyst versus being a good trader are three entirely different skill sets in his opinion, and the challenges are real, guys. It's really difficult. So we do apologize if sometimes the thumbnails seem a little bit clickbaity. We have so many different hats to put on over here, trying to fill the role of a good content creator to bring you guys here daily so that we can provide you with alpha and value while still remaining a real trader and looking at the longer term analysis or being an analyst for the higher time frame. It's a big task to nail down. My specialty or skill set is definitely in swing trading, and for the most part, I have a pretty good track record and outperform the majority of the big funds. You'll notice most of these big funds have been absolutely annihilated over the course of this year. They're still bearish and looking for much lower prices whilst the stock market's about to make new all-time highs. So on this channel, if you are watching and you do appreciate everything that we do, do take a second to let me know your thoughts or comments in the comment section below. Also smash the like button because we do the best that we can to try keep you entertained content-wise while simultaneously bringing you high alpha, real actionable results. Which brings me on to what is the next point over here. So if you look at the next point over here in crypto, narratives are everything, they say. Who would have thought that crypto apps which make your life easier are taking off?
The crypto bots to watch for: Genie, Loot, Friends, Alpha.
Hopefully that worked. Those are the ones that we're looking out for over here today. And I want to bring these up on Dex Tools. These are the bot wars.
The bot wars have arrived.
Okay, let's have a look over here. So pretty much just put these on your watch list. It is early. These are range bound. You have Alpha at the moment, range bound. Big rejection off of that 0.0064 level. Price coming down at the moment, but I think that you need to keep an eye out on these because if the bot narrative does start to pick up, which it seems like it's going to be the next one, then there's some money to be made over here, right? Small bets on these low caps because there's obviously extremely high risk, but also potentially high reward. And then you want to take those profits and filter them into Bitcoin. So that's the one. Alpha was the one. Friends is the other one that was very hyped. I know that yesterday, I think some guys at Banter bought the very top here. I won't mention who, but look at that. They literally bought the exact top. If I could have shown you the WhatsApp group, it was an absolute meme. It was pretty much like, guys, I think we just bought the top. It's nuking. We're already 50% down. And there it goes. So worth charting. You mark out the ranges, right? You got the range high, you got the range low. Prices coming into the mid-range of that level right now. Again, put this on your watch list. I'm looking at it on a high time frame here. This is the daily. The next one is Loot. From a fundamental perspective, by the way, I'll leave this up to Rand. If Rand does do a show later, he didn't do one yesterday, by the way, because he's been sick. I'm sure he'll dive into these the whole bot narrative and what exactly it means from a fundamental standpoint, why these are alpha plays. Loot has been pretty much straight up, so looking pretty good over there. And then you have Unibot as well. Let's see Unibot. Unibot is pretty much down only, so I wouldn't look at Unibot. The ones mentioned, Alpha, Friends, Loot. And then the other one that I wanted to look at is this. If you go over here, it's Rollbit. So Rollbit, if you guys don't know what Rollbit is, it's a platform essentially where you can borderline trade, more gambling than trading, because it's up to 1,000x leverage, which is absolutely insane. Crypto moves at such a high speed that you don't even need 5x leverage to make a lot of money. So 1,000x is on the tinge of gambling. But at the end of the day, they do have a token, which is why I thought it's worth mentioning. And if you do look at the token over here, it has been, let's just quickly reload that. It's been up only. It's been up only for this token. Look at that extreme uptrend. So could the trend continue? Possibly, and that's why I'm bringing it to you, which is why I want to show you it's a potential money-making opportunity. So Flood Capital says here, why has Rollbit been crushing new highs every single day for the past 2 weeks? Can it keep going? I think Rollbit is generating nearly as much revenue as Uniswap, which is absolutely insane. Uniswap, obviously one of the most used DEXs, yet Rollbit is trading at less than 1/10 of the Uniswap's market cap price. This thread will explain his assumptions. I'm not going to get into too much detail into the thread. Essentially, is showing that they have a model that generates insane fees, and ultimately they're garnering a lot of attention, have plans on expanding from their 3 main business lines, which is a casino, sportsbook, and futures trading platform. And they're looking to potentially expand that into the future. Maybe they want to become a bigger exchange or something. I don't know. Therefore, it could be worth looking at the token. If the token continues to remain in an uptrend, it might be worth slowly but surely scaling into a position like that. Be very, very careful, because the market cap is still low, and I definitely don't want you guys to get wrecked. Low market caps equal much higher risk. So that's that. Let's quickly go into Bitcoin, just a wrap up of yesterday. You can see ultimately the range high, range low, mid-range over here. Price is stuck within this parallel channel, a bit of a pivot level, which we've been rejecting from. But ultimately, I'd be looking for still potentially, if it can reclaim above 30,500 and hold there, which is our daily pivot level, then pressure moves back towards the upside. And then you can start to look for something like this, possibly one more spike into that 33K level. That means that you're tagging or deviating above the ultimate range high. You are also coming into this resistance over here from the top side of that pivot level, and then a break back into the range. Well, that's where I'd be doing the majority of my profit taking. And keyword, if price goes above and gets back in. If price goes above and holds above here and consolidates, well, then I'm going to continue to hold those long positions, which I've had all the way since here, since this region has been the entirety of the move. Once we deviated back in the range, we started to get long, and we've played this entire rally to absolute perfection. Honestly, I wouldn't change a thing. When I look back at everything that's been done, I think we've absolutely crushed it. There's no possible way that I could play this any better, in my personal opinion. So what about if you look at Ethereum? Same thing when you look at its range high, mid-range, and range low over here. Same thing, stuck within that channel, right? Moving towards the upside. So if Ethereum manages to deviate above the top side of its range whilst capping the trend line over here, it could potentially move as high as $2,400. And then same thing, consolidation above that level, very, very bullish. But if it breaks back into the range, rejects off there, gets back into the range below $2,180, pretty bearish. Time to exit the position and look to enter much lower, probably near the mid-range as your next level. So that is your quick wrap up on the daily time frame. What about the 4-hour time frame? Just looking simply at the EMAs, we have the blue 200 EMA, which is support. You have the 21 and the 50, which is currently rolling over, adding additional pressure, getting into a tight wedge, indicative that there will be expansion, right? There will be a big move that will come from all of this at some point. And if you look at Ethereum, same thing. It is holding above the 200. If that expansion happens to the downside and it fails to quickly get back above these 200 exponential moving averages on the 4-hour, well, ultimately that's going to be bearish. And then you can start to say that players have front run this idea, right? It's been front run in the sense that it's not going to get back above yet. Maybe we go much lower, and then only at a later stage do we get back above the top side of those daily ranges, which I just showed you on both Bitcoin and ETH. On the low time frame, so really zooming in, what are we looking at? Well, pretty much this. We had the perfect deviation over the top side of our low time frame range. Low time frame ranges are on the top side 31,500. And on the bottom side, we're looking at 29,500. So pretty broad range over here, a huge $1,000 range. We're looking for the same thing, proper deviation below into the liquidity pool. So price must come into the liquidity pool. Once it does that and it gets back into the 29.5 zone, it opens up scalp long opportunities whereby you can play the range, right? So then you can play it from there to there. If it gets above the mid range, you can play it to the top. We did exactly the same thing here. We said break back into the range, short to mid range. If it fails mid range, can't get above again, then you open up your next short all the way down to the bottom of the range low. And you keep playing it the same way until this entire range invalidates, right? So if price does get out of the range and hold out of the range, then we start to reevaluate and look for new opportunities. Make sure before I show you the next liquidity zones that you smash the like button. I see there's over 1,700 of you live, but we only have 600 likes. Quickly take 1 second out of your day, smash the like button. It helps with the show content. Okay, liquidation levels. What are the liquidation levels? Well, currently you have quite a bit of liquidations, which could potentially take place over here. We're looking at about 7 billion in short. So if price can start to push through this level towards the upside, you have $7 billion worth of shorts, which could be squeezed out of the market. That is as per the cumulative liquidation delta on high block capital. There is a sign up bonus below. If you do want the high block capital, you get 15% off using my link. Okay, looking at the liquidation level heat maps, liquidity is at 29,200 right now. So lining that up over here, 29,200. Where's that? Exactly where I showed you with the highlighted box, right? Which is why I still expect price to come down a bit further, push into that box, and then we can look for a potential reclaim. The other thing is you have some divergences which are currently going on. Price is moving up, but you can see spot and futures are selling off. So this is the cumulative volume delta showing what's actually happening in the flows and on-chain. And you have sellers, right? Sellers coming into the market, yet price is still trending up. That divergence will likely play out, which is in alignment with what we're seeing over here, looking for a sweep of that $29,200 liquidity. I hope I've been pretty crystal clear. That's ultimately what we're looking for. Still looking for a sweep. So let's just quickly clean this chart up over here, and then I'll show you my expectation. Okay, I also want to mention the buildup of liquidity within this zone over here. Let's just make that nice and big. I'll make it red. Okay, so you can see over here, a lot of players have had time to build up shorts over here. So don't be surprised if you see a spike up. What would that spike up look like? It would look like something like this. Maybe a big push up into that 30,500. Wipe out those players quickly. The shorts, that would be the short squeeze, the $9 billion of shorts that I just showed you. And then probably get slammed down immediately in the opposite direction. Take that liquidity and then we reassess. Probably, I think it breaks back into the range like that, and then we can look for longs. But if it doesn't, if it rejects and it starts to consolidate underneath, well, then we need to look to much lower prices, anywhere around that 28,500, potentially even as low as 24,000. I mean, excuse me. Don't panic. Do not panic. Let's quickly get our...
Do not panic. Do not panic. Not 24,000, 27,500 to 28,500.
Those are the zones that we're looking at. Guys, that pretty much brings us to the end. I do want to remind you that we are partnered with Real Vision. These prices that you see over here are Banter special prices, and they're valid for a year, an entire year. What do you get with Real Vision? You get experts that come on, experts that you usually wouldn't see on YouTube, and the deal or the offer is only available until the very end of July. And then with that, you'll be getting a future surprise. They're doing some major changes at Real Vision, and you'll be part of that. They're not going to open up the sign-up process for many, many months after this closes now at the end of July. So do check them out. We are partnered with them. They offer a world of value over there. If you are interested in that and you want to take your trading and investing to the next level, it's something that I do recommend. And that's it from me, folks. Smash the like button, hit the bell notification, and make sure that you are subscribed to the channel. I do appreciate each and every single one of you. Thank you so much for joining. Thank you for having fun with us today. And I will see you all tomorrow. Cheers for now.